Blackmore.
Back into the world of fighting games and martial arts. Welcome all new and returning people. We are back with an episode of fighting style variants. And today's episode, we're going to be going over the world of boxing. And this is one particular topic that I have been very excited to discuss with you all on this one. So please look forward to everything I'm going to be covering on this one, because it is going to be a smorgasbord of different things out there. Even things that I ended up learning that I didn't even know about myself. So please kick your feet up, relax, and enjoy today's episode, folks, because like I said, you are really in for a treat on this one. Oh, and did I forget to mention we are going to be also talking about why boxing is popular in fighting games? Yeah, we're going to be discussing that too, so I didn't forget about that. But let's get back into the video, y'all. The in-fighter thrives in the close quarters area. Great at overwhelming opponents with relentless pressure and fast combinations. Famous practitioners like Mike Tyson and Joe Frazier dominated with their aggression and ability to cut off the ring, making your opponent feel like there is nowhere to run to. Ed from Street Fighter fits this inside fighter-like mold down to a T, especially with a lot of the tools that Capcom gave him with the Psycho Powers being able to bring you closer to him, just for him to keep that pressure on, along with the Hitman-like style that he has in his repertoire on top of that. Even his former mentor, Balrog, fits that inside fighter mold too, while on top of that being an inside fighter and a Slugger type fighter down to the T, just because, I mean, look at him, this is the Dirty Buffalo that we're talking about here. Vanessa from KOF is also another character you could put in this category of inside boxer style, since she really focuses on close range attacks and using her agility just to constantly stay in and get into your face. Akihiko from Persona 4 Arena is another honorable mention I can also put into that list of the inside fighter category too as well, with this relentless flurry of punches and combinations out there. Key traits that you can take away from this is having an excellent inside game, short powerful punches, strong conditioning to maintain a high tempo, and the strengths will be effective at breaking down defensive fighters like I mentioned, forcing opponents to fight at an uncomfortable range. Weaknesses, however, is against outboxers who can maintain that distance. Another person you can put in that subcategory, I feel, is the volume punchers out there. Like Manny Pacquiao, who prioritizes throwing just high volumes of punches, just breaking down your opponents like back to back to back. Oh, and can't forget about the body snatcher himself, Julio Cesar Chavez, who focus on body shots to wear down the opponents over time in a match. The outboxer is someone that relies on speed, footwork, and technical precision to control the fight from a distance. Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather Jr. are prime examples of this style. Dudley from the Street Fighter series, with his southpaw stance and his unorthodox style of boxing, still fits the outside fighter mold due to how the way he approaches fighting on a technical level. Another character you can put in this category is TJ Combo from the Killer Instinct series, even though he has MMA-like tactics in his boxing fighting style. He's a former heavyweight champion that is banned from boxing itself, so he's going to add a lot of different techniques and things in his repertoire of his fighting style, so it's not going to be very clean boxing, I would say. Key traits you can take away from this is the superior footwork and ring IQ, prefers jabs and straight punches, excellent defensive skills. The strengths are you can dictate the pace of the fight, hard to hit due to constant movement around the ring. Weaknesses, however, may lack knockout power, and vulnerable if cornered. Some other subcategories you can add to this is counterpunchers, who wait for the opponent to make a mistake and just capitalize off of the situation. Juan Manuel Marquez is a perfect example of this. Another is the stick and mover, constantly moving around the ring while peppering opponents with jabs. Parnell Whitaker is a perfect example as well onto this. The sluggers are usually looked at as pure power, relying on their heavy hands to end fights with a single punch. While not the most technically refined, their ability to change the tide of a fight with one single blow is what makes them stand out the most. Boxers like Dante Weiler and George Foreman fall into this category. Characters that fall into the slugger-like archetype will be people like Axel Hawk from Fatal Fury Special. Think of a one-for-one recreation of George Foreman if he was young, arrogant, but still in the body of his older self. Michael Max from the older Fatal Fury games is another representation of the slugger-like mentality too. Even King of Fighters 14's Nelson falls into this category as well, which I find like just so super interesting, just how so many different iterations of SNK's boxer type characters usually either fall in line into this. Key traits that you can take away from this is the incredible punching power, toughness and resilience, prefers hooks and uppercuts. Biggest strengths is it can knock out opponents at any moment during the fight. They thrive in a firefight. Weaknesses, however, often lack speed and mobility, can struggle against more technical fighters out there. Subcategories that you can lay into this is the knockout artists, like Dante Weiler, who specializes in finishing fights early. Then there's also the clubber archetype, who relentlessly throws heavy punches, sacrificing so much speed for power. Think of boxers like Rocky Marciano. The boxer puncher blends the best of both worlds, combining the technical prowess of an outboxer with the power of a slugger. These fighters are some of the scariest fighters to go against in the ring, just based on the technical prowess alone, being able to break down fights fast. Sugar Ray Leonard and Canelo Alvarez are modern masters of this style. Characters throughout fighting games that I feel represent this down to a science is Steve Fox from the Tekken series. Not only is he the best of both worlds onto this, I'll even sit there and say that he even has the end fighter as well within him. What Steve Fox is, what makes him so special as a boxing character in the 3D space, is that he blends so much of all three of these different categories out there, or, well, I should say 4 categories into one character, with him having different stances, coming from the peekaboo, the flicker stance, so many different things that he has within his arsenal is such a huge love letter to any boxer out there that ends up seeing him will just have a smile on their face. He is what I feel is just like the all-in-all representation out there of a character. Key traits that you can take away from this is having a balanced skill set, ability to adapt to different opponents in different situations, strong offensive and defensive capabilities. Strengths are being versatile and unpredictable. You can outbox or overpower opponents depending on the situation. Weaknesses, however, is you may struggle against specialists in extreme or unusual styles out there that you would see in boxing. Subcategories that I can put into this would be the adaptive boxer, who constantly changes tactics mid-fight, which is Canelo Alvarez's specialty. Another that you can add into this is the power technician. who relies on precision and power to dominate. Gennady Golovkin is someone that I can personally say would fit into this mold. Now, earlier I mentioned of different subcategories outside of the main styles. Boxing is filled with so many different approaches tailored to individual strengths and strategies. So here are some honorary mentions of other sub-styles I'd like to mention. You have the unorthodox fighter, who usually employs unconventional techniques and movement, usually the ones that approach boxing in a oddball way or something that is outside the norm. People that I can mention is Nazim Hamed and Emmanuel Augustus, the Drunken Master. Characters that fall into this category I can personally say is Dudley from the Street Fighter series, who has an unorthodox approach to boxing while having a southpaw stance in his 2P iteration, while being an outside fighter on top of that. Another character that I can put into this mold would be Bowman from Project Justice. Then you got the Switch Hitter, a fighter who constantly switches stances. Terrence Crawford is someone you can look to for the Switch Hitter-like representation. The Journeyman, a tough, experienced fighter who tests his rising stars out there, is another subcategory. The Spoiler, who prioritizes disrupting opponents' rhythm with clinching and awkward tactics. Bernard Hopkins is someone that really represents this down to the T. Defensive specialists who focus exclusively on avoiding damage in the entire fight. Willie Pep is someone that I can comfortably say who fits that mold as well. I strongly feel with the rise of Western boxing, of how the way things were shaping up, especially over here in America, that when fighting games were starting to actually take off and shape right after Street Fighter 2, that's when you really started to just see a big explosion of the sport just really being on a rise, and especially over in Japan. We cannot forget about the wonderful darling of Hajime no Ippo. Like, that is one of the most legendary sport animes out there, and I recommend everyone to go out there and give that anime a watch if you're an anime lover out there. And it also teaches quite a bit of different life lessons out there too, so I highly recommend giving it a watch. But I feel like with the ever-growing popularity of boxing and the fact that it is still even on a rise today, you are still seeing different takes on boxing itself, whether you'll have a in-fighter or an out-fighter, or you'll just have someone that is doing a southpaw stance or being an unorthodox fighter in itself. So you'll see different takes on boxing in itself with all these different characters throughout traditional fighting games out there, from your Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, the list goes on. So it is beautiful to just see boxing just continue and grow the way that it is, and I truly enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please give a like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can stay updated on any new videos coming to the channel, because man, this year I have so much wonderful things to sit there and show you all, so please look forward to everything that is coming to the channel. But don't want to take up too much of your time. This is Blackmore here, signing out. Catch you later, folks. And if you want to join the Discord too as well, and I almost forgot to mention that, it will be in the description always below in the video. Please stop by, say hello, and I'll end up very soon doing different poll discussions, threads, and a whole bunch of different stuff in there, especially watch parties. But anyways, catch you all later. See you in the next video. Peace.
You want to ring the bell, Apollo?
All right. Ding, ding. Slugger Jr. I've been boxing for about 12 years now.
My name is Roman Anthony Lorenzi. I'm 14. I've been doing it for 7 years.
My name is Jaden Shaw. Been boxing for a total about 6-7 years. What really keeps me motivated is the younger generation, people that look up to me, and like I know I got a good skill set on me. It's really the kids that keep me going. Just want to give them be a good role model for them. Be someone that they can look up to and be like, oh, I want to be like him one day or be better than him one day. And my parents keep me going a lot. They push me a lot. I wouldn't be here without them. So, you know.
My main motivation is I want to give back to my mom and dad what they give to me, my coaches, my big brother Edgar. I look up to him. I want to. One of these days, I want to win a national title and keep going.
The thing that got me into boxing is I was just always like an angry kid, and boxing is one thing that like calms me. Like it's therapy.
It's good. Honestly, it just keeps the sport going. You know, you can never get tired of boxing or punching someone in the face. It's good. Honestly, you get a lot of different views about boxing, but there's nothing better than in the gym, everyday training. It's the best way. So, but it's good. Keeps it popular and growing every day.
It feels good because I know I'm in a sport that matters, and people look at it like that too since it's so popular. First we rising, like Misfit Boxing, all them YouTubers coming over. It brings a lot of spotlight to it, which is good. It brings more people and more money to when we get pro and get better, we could get big opportunities like that. And video game wise, I like seeing it because it feels like I got a one up on it because I know so much about it. That's really it.
I love it. You know, seeing something that we do every day out there growing and becoming more popular. I like it because whenever we turn pro, we'll have a bigger fan base. That's why we used to try so hard as amateurs to build our profile, build our brand.
I just want to say to anyone watching, if you're thinking about joining boxing, I'll recommend it. It's a good sport. It trains you mentally and physically, and it don't only help your health, it also helps outside discipline, knowing how to say no to peer pressure and all that. It just builds you as a person. You learn how to be humble, be a hard worker. So, you know, any younger kids out there watching, just put the work in, train hard every day, and never give up. Because there's always big things coming, and you can achieve way more than you think. You know, just keep God in your life. As long as you put your part in, put the work in, you can make it far in life. So I'd really recommend you join boxing, and thank y'all.
The study of Kung Fu fighting is ongoing. Don't ever hope to master all of them. So be careful.